All them dark days led to them bright nights. We play rough, grass stains on our clothes, we are not nice. It can rain fireballs, why the fuck you think that I got ice? If you hit the nigga with his head turned, nigga, they're not straight.
Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's your boy Cold World, and I'm back with another Call of Duty video, bruh. But this is not any Call of Duty video again, you know. It's not the regular ones that I post. This time I'm posting my first story time too. I'm gonna be talking about the time where I had my first school bully. We got in a fight, and he ended up transferring. So this story takes place back when I was in grade 2 or 3. Mind you guys, back when I was a little kid, you know, I wasn't really the type to like get into fights or anything like that. You know, I was a pretty chill kid. But the thing was, like, you know, I wouldn't back down from a fight necessarily. I try my best to avoid conflict, but say if I'm in a situation where I can't avoid conflict, then there's gonna be conflict. You feel me? So like, it all started back in grade 2 or 3 at this elementary school. Mind you guys, it was a Montessori elementary school, right? So that means like all French. That means like every course that I had to take at that school had to be in French. And you could not get caught speaking English because, like, you know, you get in trouble. You know, you could get a detention, miss out on recess. This is all that stupid shit. You know, me as a kid and right now, I still hate French to this day. Like, I never really fuck with French, like, at all. And I've known French my entire life. Teachers that were strict as hell. I don't know why, but they just were. So before this whole bullying situation, my life at that school was pretty enjoyable, you feel me? So like in grade 1 in kindergarten, that shit was pretty fun because, you know, my bully wasn't there at those times. And I was a chill kid in kindergarten, you know, like I had a lot of I wouldn't say a lot of friends, but, you know, I just had a lot of people that like knew me. And I had like a small amount of friends that, like, you know, I would play around with during recess. So, you know, it was a pretty chill, enjoyable time. No conflicts with anyone, had no worries, you know, because I'm in kindergarten and I didn't really stress about anything at all. But man, as soon as grade 2 or 3 hit, I remember the first day of school, this chubby boy comes into my class, right? And this chubby boy is my bully. So let's give this bully a name. Let's call him Chum Chum because he's a fat boy. So the teacher introduces the class to Chum Chum, right? She's like, hey everyone, this is Chum Chum. Everybody says hi. So, you know, everyone in the class says hi, including me. But for some reason, I see him look at me and I can just feel the negative energy that this kid is already throwing at me, right? But, you know, I've never been in a conflict situation, so like I just shrugged it off, acted like it was nothing, right? And just went on with my life. So a couple weeks go by, right? Everything's chill, you know, there's no problem with Chum Chum or anything like that until recess comes. And I decide to, like, you know, get my little toy shovel to play with in the sand at the playground. Having the time of my life, making sandcastles, you know, just playing around in the sand, using my crazy ass imagination and having fun by myself. And I see Chum Chum coming by, you know, and I didn't really think anything of it. I'm just like, oh, maybe, you know, he just wants to like talk about something. He asked if he could see my shovel, so I'm like, you know what, sure, here you go. And the minute I give this kid my shovel, he makes the stupidest, most annoying laugh and just runs with it. I'm like, yo, what the hell? So I get up and then I go to chase him, you know, to get my shit back. As soon as I start chasing him, he turns around and just straight up push me to the ground, right? So in my head, I was like confused as shit. I was like, okay, what the hell just happened? And I was like, yo, what the hell is wrong with this kid? And then I just like let the situation like blow by, right? I'm just like, you know what, whatever, I ain't even with the shits, right? So I decided to ignore it. A few days go by, and these few days is just straight up just Chum Chum annoying the hell out of me. I don't know why it had to be me. There's plenty other kids in that classroom to bother, right? But nah, he just decides to bother me. Days goes on, right? I don't tell my mom any of these things, right? So my mom doesn't know that like there's a kid harassing me at school, cause trust, my mom knew in advance she would have been at that school already to cuss that kid out. So yeah, days goes on, I'm being bullied and shit. I just let it be, right? Cause I ain't trying to get into no conflict. Like I said, I'm a chill kid, so I just let shit slide most of the time anything happens. Until this one time, I'm at the playground again, and I see Chum Chum coming my way. But you know, this time I'm prepared, right? So I hide all my toys, all that, so he, you know, he doesn't like vandalize my shit or try to steal it and run away with it. So I'm ready for him. He comes up. I don't even remember how the conversation went, right? But I'm just gonna assume it was like, hey, you know, can I play with you? And then me, straight up, I just said, nah, I ain't even trying to play. I'm trying to be my lonely. I'm trying to be solo. No, I don't really think Chum Chum took this shit very well. Because as soon as I said no, this kid wants to start pushing me and stuff. And I'm like, yo, relax. Like, I'm not trying to do any of these things. I ain't into the conflict. I ain't into the beef. This kid, dead ass, no cap, picks me up, turns me around, no homo, pause, and starts choking me. But here's the thing you guys don't know. I have asthma, right? So that I couldn't breathe, and it got to a point where like he had a tight grip on my neck. Pause again. He had a tight grip. He's choking the living shit out of me. I couldn't even breathe. It got to a point where I needed to take my puffer, right? And I felt like I was getting lightheaded. I felt like I was gonna pass out. So there's one thing my mom always told me. She said if a kid lays his hands on me, I can lay my hands right back. So I remember that shit, right? So I take his arm and I bite the living shit out of his arm. Like, I'm talking about, like, I bit a piece of his arm. As soon as I did this, he started screaming his ass off. So, you know, as soon as he started screaming, I was able to break free because, you know, he's too worried about his arm more than me. So I broke free and I turned around and I popped him in his throat and ran off. As soon as I got away, I had to run to the principal's office because my asthma already started to kick in. So, like, I was wheezing and everything. Like, I couldn't breathe for shit. I already felt like I was dying. So when I got to the principal's office, I ran in there crying and screaming. You know, the principal came up to me and tried to ask me what's wrong. But, like, I couldn't even get my words out, right? Because, like, it was just so hard for me to breathe. And, like, I was a young kid, right? So I was panicking like crazy. I thought I was going to die and shit. So the principal had to end up calling my mom. And my mom came to school, picked me up, and brought me home to take care of me, right? And meanwhile, my mom doesn't know that I had a bully, right? So she's just thinking that, like, I had an asthma attack. She didn't really think too much of it other than it was, you know, it's just an asthma attack. Let me take care of my son at home. So once I started to feel better and my asthma started to go away, I told my mom about the whole situation, right? And at the time, my mom was pissed. She was tight, but, you know, she wasn't tight at me. She was just tight that, like, the whole situation happened. But she's like, all right, it's over with. You know, you handled your business. You did what you had to do. You know, didn't think too much of it. The situation's going to go on. He's not going to bother you again. So literally the next day I went to school and, you know, I was kind of scared to go to class because, like, the whole conflict situation that happened, like, it was still bothering me. But as soon as I get to class, I noticed that Chum Chum isn't even there. So I was like, alright, whatever, situation happened. Let me move on with my life. So after class, I noticed that, like, the teacher was, like, throwing shade towards me for some reason, right? I don't know. She always hated me. My mom told me it's because, like, you know, I didn't fuck with French. So I guess that's a reason to hate me for some reason. But she tells me to stay in class, right? As everyone's leaving class, I was like, okay. And I was confused as hell as to why, like, you know, she wanted to talk to me after class. But, like, this is exactly what she told me. She said, because of the fight that you had yesterday, I'm either going to have to suspend you or, like, it was either suspend or expel. But, like, the suspension she was talking about, it was, like, it wasn't no regular, like, 1 to 3 days. It was, like, I'm talking about, like, weeks suspended. And I'm just a kid, so I was scared as hell. So they had to end up bringing my mom into the school and telling my mom the news. So my teacher and my mom were having a one-on-one talk. And when she told my mom what happened and the things she was gonna do to me, my mom completely spazzed out on the teacher. She was talking like, how the hell are you gonna suspend my kid for getting choked out, damn near about to die on the spot, and you're not gonna do anything to the other kid that was doing the choking? Like, I never seen my mom this pissed in my life before, and she looked scary as hell. So when she was telling all this shit to my teacher, I looked at my teacher, and my teacher looked so fucking scared. She looked like she was about to piss in her own pants. Like, I'm not gonna lie, when I saw my teacher getting cussed out, that shit low-key made me smile, because there's no way in hell she's gonna get angry at me for getting choked out. So I started smiling at the table a bit. But anyways, after my mom was done venting to my teacher finally smartened up. She was like, okay, we're not gonna suspend your child, right? And that was it. As soon as she said that, my mom said, great, got up, and brought me home. After that meeting, I would go days without seeing Chum Chum in class. So, like, it got to a point where I was kind of, like, curious to what happened, right? But, like, I didn't really care because I didn't see him. So as long as I didn't see him, it didn't bother me. So maybe a week or two after that whole situation, my teacher had to end up telling the classroom that Chum Chum ended up leaving and transferring to another school and we won't see him in class again. But after that moment, I was stress-free again. I didn't have to worry about Chum Chum a day again in my life. But anyways, that's the end of the story time, guys. So if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you guys leave a like. If you guys also like the story time that I gave out, let me know down in the comments and let me know if I should do more story times if you guys enjoyed it. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on that post notification, man. Anyways, I'll catch you guys later. I'm out. Pow!
It's a cold world. All them dark days led to them bright nights. We play rough. Grass stains on our clothes. We are not nice. It can rain fireballs. Why the fuck you think that I got ice? If you hit the nigga with his head turned, nigga, they're not straight.